While Ontario prepares to do away with COVID-19 proof of vaccination requirements next week, private businesses do not have to follow suit. But as an employee, can your employer require you to be vaccinated, and does that violate your rights?
Employers are in a difficult position. They want to take care for the safety of all employees and customers, but it's also important that they protect the rights of employees, including those who are not vaccinated.
Professor Sophia Moreau says private employers can require their employees to get vaccinated, and it's a common misconception that such rules violate the Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
The Charter only applies to governments and government agencies. So if you're a government employer, then the charter might protect employees. But if we're just talking about an ordinary private employer and employees, the charter isn't a source of your rights.
What does protect your rights in this case is the Ontario Human Rights Code, and employers must ensure their vaccine policies adhere to it. The Ontario Human Rights Commission released a statement on mandatory vaccination policies last September.
What they said was that generally it's permissible to require employees to be vaccinated, provided that employers reasonably accommodate those who are unable to be vaccinated for two sorts of reasons. The first sort of reason is religious reasons, and the second is medical reasons.
Professor Moreau explains that only religious beliefs that stem from an organized and recognized religion are protected under the Human Rights Code. As for medical reasons, a documented medical condition must be backed up by a nurse or doctor's note. She also notes a difference between union and non-union employees.
If we're dealing with non-unionized employees, then really there it's all about the contract. If an employer has never told employees that they would have to be vaccinated or otherwise risk losing their job, there is a potential that the employer would be breaching the contract.
However, she adds that all contracts are to be interpreted on the basis of what is reasonable, and a legal authority would likely consider employers requiring vaccination during a worldwide pandemic to be just that.
In the union context, it's totally different. Their employees will have a collective agreement. But of course, even collective agreements can't deal with everything. So the assumption as a part of labor law is that the employer retains the right to manage the workplace in a reasonable way. So again, we'd use a kind of reasonableness test, so we try and balance the risk to public health with the needs of employees.
Professor Moreau adds that how reasonable a vaccine policy is could also be judged by the kind of alternate work arrangements that could be made available, like working from home. So ahead on the show, we speak to an HR expert about how employers can navigate workplace vaccine mandates in a way that is fair to all.